Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. As well as shooting this scene, which I'll put up for you now, which is just a local view quite near to my home. I didn't want to travel too far today because still in the UK you've got to get up quite early to get a good sunrise shot at the moment, but I kind of felt that some nice golden light on this scene would make it look quite nice, and there's a little bit of mist at the moment on the two castles in the distance. So as well as this shot, I'm also out today with another camera that I've got Nigel Danson to thank for, really, for this current kind of trajectory on my photography journey, in that a few weeks ago now, or it might be a few months actually, he did this video where he compared the outputs, or he pitted his old 15-year-old Nikon D200 against his latest and greatest mirrorless Nikon Z7, and I, along with a lot of other people in the comments, actually preferred the colours and the kind of the way that the old Nikon D200 rendered its kind of images. I've mainly need to lost the Osmo then. Yeah, so as some of you probably know, I haven't really wavered from the micro four thirds kind of range of mirrorless cameras, and I've had Olympus, a couple Panasonic cameras, and my first one was actually the Olympus EPL2, and Nigel's video got me thinking really that I remember the JPEGs out of that camera were exceptional. I often tried to edit the raw files with that camera. I had Lightroom 5 back in those days, so it's not like I didn't have good software to edit my raw files with, but I just remember that it was really hard to kind of even just equal the kind of the quality that those straight out of camera JPEGs were able to achieve. So that got me thinking about different kind of sensors and also the color science that camera manufacturers kind of embody in their kind of cameras. So with all that in mind, that got me thinking then that I really wanted to give these kind of digital cameras with these kind of film-like organic quality and colours to them a go. So the first camera I decided to purchase to experiment with kind of the different looks of sensors and colour science that other manufacturers use is the Fuji X100. This is the original Fuji X100. Obviously they're up to 100V, which is the fifth line of this particular series of cameras. And this one is, all the other cameras in this series have got the X-Trans sensor. This has got a 12 megapixel Bayer sensor. When I was doing my research, there was supposed to be something about this original camera and about the images that I really wanted to give a try for myself. It's a fixed lens on this camera. It's a 23mm f2 Fuji lens, which equates, because this is an APC camera, it's got a crop of 1.5, so that does equate to a field of view of 35mm, which is kind of a good kind of all-round lens really. So that's why I kind of went for this package first. It's like camera and lens all in one, so I didn't have to then worry about buying a camera and then another lens kind of system. So I thought this was kind of a good introduction to kind of Fuji cameras. Yeah, so it was released back in 2010, so it's amazing that this is a 11-year-old kind of camera now, and it only has 3 of Fuji's film simulations in it. So it's obviously got its Provia, which is kind of its standard film simulation, a Velvia film simulation, which I'll tell you straight off the bat, I haven't really been that impressed with in this camera. It's been a bit kind of over saturated, which I know which is the purpose of Velvia, but in this camera it just seems to look a bit garish. And then finally there's another film simulation called Austere as well. And even though you can mess around with the kind of the highlights, the shadow tones, what I generally try to do in this video and in my kind of comparison is just kind of compare the kind of the pure out camera kind of images that this kind of camera generates. So yeah, like I said, I bought this camera about a month ago now, and I've been using it quite extensively since then. So before I take any more images kind of today, I was just going to put up a montage now of what I've been able to achieve with this camera, and to provide a point of difference, I've also been kind of comparing the output of this camera with my obviously my Olympus Pen-F. So I'll put up some images now, like I said, and I'll put the side by side up where I can, showing you the output from the X100, and then of course the best kind of image, similar image I was able to capture with the Pen-F. Right, so hopefully that gives you a bit of a flavour of what this camera can still kind of produce 10 years, 11 years on from its kind of inception. So I'm going to get going now and take some more compositions around this kind of area today before the light gets too harsh and the temperature gets too warm. So let's get going. Right, I'm back at home now. Hope you really enjoyed that footage and the images that I've been able to take with the X100 today. And I hope you can start to see what I can see with my time with this camera is that it definitely does have something about it. You know, I put up this image now, which is probably one of my favourites that I've captured with this camera over the last few months. And hopefully when you look at it against the Pen-F image, you'll start to see hopefully what I was kind of hoping for from this camera, in that the images almost have a more film-like kind of organic feel to them. They almost have a little bit more about them in terms of the atmosphere that they convey, compared to the Pen-F image, which is equally well metered, well captured, but it just looks to me a little bit more kind of plain, a little bit more kind of digital and clinical looking, whereas the X100 image, yeah, it just has something about it. It's really hard to kind of articulate that into words, but it's just a feeling that this camera has kind of highlighted to me that there are certainly cameras out there, and they're not necessarily the latest cameras with all the bells and whistles, but there might be some hidden gems out there which do produce some really spectacular images. So yeah, I try to avoid talking about whether I like or dislike this camera. This video was all about the kind of the look and the feel of the images that this camera produces. So yeah, as always, I'll be grateful for any thoughts or comments on this video or any of the videos that I've kind of produced so far. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.